Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a video like no other. Since December 3rd, we have been dog sitting our grand dog, Gertie, our daughter's French bulldog. Now, Gertie is a lovely, well-behaved dog. However, over a long stay, her stuff takes over the house. Clothing, leashes, toys, food, treats, beds, blankets, you name it. So I guess it's not entirely surprising that the other day I did a face plant in my office when I tripped over some of her stuff. I have a bruised knee, the other one has a scrape, but by far the worst injury was my right wrist. Exhibit A. As is impulse, because you know these things happen in a blink of an eye, I must have stuck my right arm out to break my fall and really hurt my wrist. The first night was absolute hell as I tried to find a place, a spot that, to sleep where it didn't hurt. It was then that I realized that, oh, there's that reverberation, an impact here affects the elbow and the shoulder and so on. Knee bone connected to the whatever bone. Anyway, the next day I spoke to a doctor. The decision was that I should go have it x-rayed. The x-rays came back, fine, didn't show a break. That is not at all uncommon with a wrist x-ray. What I already knew and have been reminded of is that at the base of the thumb is a bone called the scaphoid bone. And apparently it is like, it would look like this with a tiny space in it with, as the physio described it, a bone bridge connecting the two parts. Notoriously hard to detect on a fresh x-ray, and really quite a serious thing if not treated properly, because there's a very poor blood supply to this area or to that little bone. It can in fact die, which is never a good thing. Anyway, long story short, I've been icing, wearing the brace, and of course have been taken out of action in terms of crafting. I'm right-handed, and anyone who's ever been in this position where their dominant hand is unusable for whatever reason, it just drives the point home as to how dependent we are on all our body parts. So writing is impossible. Unscrewing something is impossible, or very, very difficult. Hooking up a bra, thank you very much, is very difficult, impossible. So I did, yesterday I kept my already scheduled appointment with a physio for another part of my body, and showed her the thing. She examined it, got me to do a couple of resistance kind of moves, felt it was warm, noticed that it was swollen, and basically her recommendation is to continue the icing, continue the resting, and make sure that I get it re-x-rayed in about 10 days time, which, I mean, clearly this is not good timing with Christmas right around the bend and probably emergency rooms packed and staff shortages and so on. However, I'll do my best to do that. So, excuse me, I did want to add some entertainment value, not just this medical column. So I put together a pop quiz. So let's just have a look at it. Originally, I was going to write out the answers, but then I thought, oh, it would look like an illiterate kidnapper who had penciled out the ransom note. Okay, so I'll read this to you. Obviously, no preparation is necessary. You don't need to turn in your paper, and because and maybe you don't know this about me, but I'm always looking for the takeaway, the life lesson. What can I learn here? What can I avoid doing in the future? And if we were talking in person, I would be wanting to learn from your successes. I would be wanting to learn from your mistakes, because I never believe, I don't think I'm going to live long enough to make all the mistakes myself. So if I can learn from your mistakes and your successes, woohoo. Anyway, okay, so here's the question. I don't know, can you see that? What is the life lesson, the moral of the story, takeaway from this event? So this is a one-question quiz, and it's multiple choice, and here are the options. A, dogs don't have opposable thumbs, so humans need to pick up their toys and blankies. B, a crafter's ultimate best tool is her dominant hand. C, the universe always finds a way to make us slow down and pay attention to whatever we've been ignoring. And D, all of the above. As I said, this is strictly a tongue-in-cheek thing, and maybe a conversation starter, or just a point for reflection. If you are like me, you know how difficult it is not to keep busy, not to keep moving, not to keep doing all of those things that sort of the maintenance and the, what's the best terminology? Sort of those behind the scenes tasks that keep us efficient. You know, fussy cutting and stamping and sewing and things like that. And I thought, oh my God, I have to quit doing everything until this heals. I was also, another thing. I learned that sprains come in degrees, first, second, and third degree. Third degree is the worst. It's the actual, and another thing, sprains affects ligaments. So a third degree sprain would be when the ligaments are completely, where the fibers are completely torn and detached. That's a bad one. A first degree sprain is when there's just been basically a stretching of the fibers of the ligament. A second degree sprain, which is the one that I have, has tearing, but not to the same degree where it's all separated. So I said to the physio, so on a second degree sprain, what is the typical healing, length of time for healing? And she said, well, anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks. So, oh my goodness, it is going to be difficult to avoid crafting. I mean, it's easy to avoid, cooking and cleaning and laundry and stuff like that. But so anyway, of course, because I can't leave well enough alone, I did find this morning that these Fiskar scissors, I think these, I don't know, they're called maybe the comfort ones. They're the ones that don't have a typical scissor action, but instead are just a squeeze thing. I found out that I could make them work with my left hand. Because as we know, scissors typically have they're either right-handed or left-handed. So I can do rough cutting with these scissors. This page came out of a book that I showed you in a recent haul, and I don't have the manual dexterity to cut on a line, but I can do this. And believe it or not, that feels like an accomplishment, and that feels like progress. So I wanted to do this video, number one, because it's partly public service announcement. But I also wanted to have an explanation out there as to what momentum I've managed to create with regular YouTube videos is going to come basically to a screeching halt. And I know people will be preoccupied with their own Christmas and holiday plans, and so maybe an absence won't even be noticed. But I did want to get the message out there. So I will likely not see or talk to you before Christmas, before the end of this or the start of this holiday season. So I'd like to wish you the very best. I know that I've always looked at January 1st and actually September 1st as the beginning of the year, a chance to restart. And I think for many people, putting 2022 in the books and getting a fresh start is going to be ideal. I wish you nothing but health and prosperity, and happy crafting. Take care of yourself and your body. Pick up any obstacles that could cause a fall. And yeah, we shall see you when we see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.